All right, let's continue Tasha's right here by looking at some of these magic items. The first one we'll look at are some of these tattoos. There's a lot of them, and this is just the first one here. It's some of the most popular things, I think, among the magic items from this book. We got this Alchemical Compendium, an all-purpose tool and amulet of the Devout. So 4 different objects, but before we get into those, notice under the magic items right here. They tell you this section presents magic items that can be introduced into any campaign. Here you'll find items of all rarities, including artifacts. I think about 6 of them. Magic spell casting focuses for every spell casting class are also available, so they've gotten a little class specific with some. And some of the items in this section represent a new type of wondrous item like the tattoos. So notice here they give you a little breakdown of how many of each, and notice some of them. Looks like a lot of them right here. Most of them do require attunement, but notice there's just a handful of common ones, and you got a dozen of the uncommon. And after that, they get over to the rare, and I believe there's a total of 19 of those. Yep, all together right there. So a lot of those in that group. Then the very rare 5, 1 legendary, and 6 artifacts listed right there. So it's a total of 47 new magic items that have been added. But again, here's one of the most anticipated, the magic tattoos. So they just give you a little background on how they work here at the beginning. Blending magic and artistry with ink and needles, magic tattoos imbue their bearers with wondrous abilities. Magic tattoos are initially bound to magic needles, which transfer their magic to a creature. So it all starts with the needle right there. Once inscribed on a creature's body, damage or injury doesn't impair the tattoo's function, even if the tattoo is defaced. So I guess whether you can see it or not, it's always going to be there working. When applying a magic tattoo, a creature can customize the tattoo's appearance. A magic tattoo can look like a brand, scarification, a birthmark, patterns of scale, or any other cosmetic alteration. So depending on the race and the person's preference playing the individual, they really make these tattoos look different, not just traditionally, like you think of as the ink tattoo you see everybody with. The rarer a magic tattoo is, the more space it typically occupies on a creature's skin. So if they're not that powerful, just a small area, and the really powerful ones, a lot of skin. So here they have a little table that shows you how much area of the body is covered. So notice since some of the more powerful ones really cover a lot of surface area, that can limit how many could be put on a body. Usually think of most tattoos being small, put 20, 30, 40 of them on you, but not these right here. So notice common, we got 1 hand, foot, quarter of a limb. So you could get 4 of those on something like an upper limb, something like that. The uncommon, half a limb or the scalp. Rare, 1 limb, so you get a total of 4 of those right there. Very rare, 2 limbs or the chest or upper back. And look at the legendary, 2 limbs and the torso. So that's the majority of the body with just those right there. So that's what's going to be the limiting factor with these tattoos, is how much surface area that they take up. So the first one listed right here, and notice how they go alphabetical, is the absorbing tattoo. So here you go, wondrous item, very rare, requires attunement, which a lot of these do. So again, they're produced by a special needle. Tattoo attunement. To attune to this item, you hold the needle to your skin where you want the tattoo to appear, pressing the needle there throughout the attunement process. When the attunement is complete, the needle turns into the ink that becomes the tattoo, which appears on the skin. Sort of a little magical transformation right there. If your attunement to the tattoo ends, the tattoo vanishes and the needle reappears in your space. So this one right here is going to give you damage resistance. That's what the absorbing tattoo is primarily about. While the tattoo is on your skin, you have resistance to a type of damage associated with a particular color, as shown on the table. So here you can see the DM chooses the color, or they can determine it randomly. So notice here's your colors off to the side, and right here down the center, there's what you're going to get resistance to. Acid, cold, fire, force, lightning, necrotic, poison, psychic, radiant, and thunder. So good option. Of course, some of the fire and cold are probably the more commonly wanted, but you got it for pretty much everything. Now notice you don't just get resistance. Look at what else is added to this, and this is a big extra. Damage absorption. When you take damage of the chosen type, you can use your reaction, so it's after you've already been hit, to gain immunity. Look at that. Immunity against that instance of the damage, and you regain a number of hit points equal to half the damage you would have taken. So think about that. Something hits you with 50 points of fire damage. Well, not only this one single time will it not hurt you in any way, but it would heal you for up to 25 if you needed it. So that's big. Once this reaction is used, it can't be used again until the next dawn. So there's our first little item on the tattoos. They're going to have a lot more of that further along. Then we have our Alchemical Compendium, a wondrous item that's rare, requiring attunement specifically by a wizard. So notice again how some of these items are class specific. So here they tell you acrid odors cling to the stained heavy volumes. I guess that's a big old stinky book. The book's metal fittings are copper, iron, lead, silver, and gold, some frozen mid-transition from one metal to another. When found, the book contains the following spells. You got Enlarge or Reduce, Featherfall, Flesh to Stone, Gaseous Form, Magic Weapon, and Polymorphs. That's a good little selection right there. It functions as a spell book for you, so you wouldn't need a separate one there. While you're holding the book, you can use it as a spell casting focus for wizard spells, right? Only wizard there. The book has 3 charges, and it'll gain a 1d3 expended charges every day at dawn. You can use the charges in the following ways while holding it. If you spend 1 minute studying the book, you can expend 1 charge to replace one of your prepared wizard spells with a different spell in the book. The new spell must be of the transmutation school, so limits you right there quite a bit on what the options would be. As an action, you can touch a non-magical object that isn't being worn or carried and spend a number of charges to transform the target into another object. So you can just change things up, whatever the object may be. For 1 charge, the object can be no larger than 1 foot on a side. You can spend additional charges to increase the maximum dimensions by 2 feet per charge. The new object must have a gold value equal to or less than the original. So in other words, you can't take something that's cheap and worthless and transform it into something that's really valuable. So pretty much going to maintain the same value, but of course the size can be altered there. So they've got all that listed. Then they got this all-purpose tool. Pretty neat little item right here. Wondrous item, and notice there's an uncommon tool +1, a rare +2, and a very rare +3. Notice this is artificer specific for this one right here. When you consider it being a tool, not surprising. This simple screwdriver can transform into a variety of tools. Look at that, one tool actually becomes a mini tool option. As an action, you can touch the item and transform it into any type of artisan's tool of your choice. Whatever form the tool takes, you're proficient. So no matter what it becomes, you're going to be proficient with it. While holding this tool, you gain a bonus to the spell attack rolls and the saving throw DCs of your artificer spells. The bonus is determined by the tool's rarity. So you're going to get a bonus to your spell attack rolls and save throw DCs for artificer spells. So that's big, especially that +3. As an action, you can focus on the tool to channel your creative forces. Choose a cantrip that you don't know, and look at this, from any class list. For 8 hours, you can cast that cantrip, and it counts as an artificer cantrip. Once this property is used, it can't be used again until the next dawn. So basically, any cantrip you want is another addition. So that's a really interesting little all-purpose tool. And then the last one down here is Amulet of the Devout. And again, notice how there's different types. An uncommon +1, rare +2, and very rare +3. And notice here, only a cleric or paladin can attune to this one right here. This amulet bears the symbol of a deity inlaid with precious stones or metals. While you wear the holy symbol, you gain a bonus to spell attack rolls and again the saving throw DCs of your spells. That's outstanding, especially if you get a +3. The bonus is determined by the amulet's rarity, as we saw above. While you wear this amulet, you can use your Channel Divinity feature without expending one of the feature's uses. So it's going to give you an extra. Once this is used, it can't be used again until the next dawn. So there's our first few little magic items right there. We got a lot to go, so we'll cover these in all the other videos soon enough. Till then, good luck and good gaming.